My name is Kathleen Selmans. I am the host of What's Working in Video. With me today, I have Justin Lewis. Would you like to introduce yourself and your company, Justin?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Justin Lewis, and I am one of the co-owners of Argos Productions. We're a boutique video production company in Boise, Idaho.
Cool. So What's Working in Video is basically just everything for you?
Oh, yeah.
We've had other
We,
coaches and consultants and business owners in the last couple weeks, and it's been, video is like a component of their business. But if you have a video production company, maybe you should be telling us what we should do.
well, I think that's a very personalized conversation depending on what the needs of everybody are. Because somebody who's a personal coach versus like a Fortune 500 company are going to need very different video needs, and they're going to need those needs met to, do a very similar thing, which is communicate what they want to talk about to their audience. But the difference is that the big Fortune 500 company is going to spend, a couple $1 billion a year on advertising versus the coach probably isn't.
Right. Probably.
They might be. Tony Robbins might be, but
even he's not spending that kind of money. He might be making what a Fortune 500 makes. But so tell me what kind of videos you like doing best.
Well, for us, kind of where our hearts lie is doing live video production. So something like taking Zoom and elevating it with a multi-camera setup where we bring in a switcher and an audio mixer and a whole bunch of equipment to elevate what Zoom is good at, which is connecting people via video and audio. Or we've been doing a live stream every week for the past 6 months. We've done over 100 shows since April, producing kind of a variety show for our community that features community artists, musicians, conversations between those kinds of people, as well as business owners from around the area, and highlighting our community in a unique way. And between that and we have creative projects like documentaries and short films and even feature films that we work on to kind of scratch that itch when that itch arises.
Cool. That's really cool. So I'm guessing you've done a lot more live streaming stuff, let's say in 2020 than before?
Oh, yes. Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, live streaming is definitely the name of the game. And there's a whole bunch of players trying to kind of get to the top when it comes to the technology platforms, as well as just the content aspect of it. Because all of a sudden, like anybody with a phone can live stream.
Right. I was having this conversation with my business partner, actually. We went through, because I have a studio in another location that has a camcorder, and it has the lights that make you instantly 20 degrees warmer and all of that. But it's in a different location, and I went through a couple of rounds of it, and what we do for video is content marketing. So we get people on camera talking about their expertise for 5 to 10 minutes, whatever. It's great. And then it gets repurposed a whole bunch of different ways in both video and in written content. And when we were talking about what kind of equipment we should send over, we were like, okay, maybe we should buy them little Logitechs, but those are still out of production, out of
finding good stock of that kind of stuff is really difficult.
I looked it up. I was like, I think I have a 4K camera right here. That I carry around everywhere. And so now what we're sending is just little ring lights and a lav mic that connects to an iPhone.
Yep.
Or an Android phone too. The production quality, we don't make them do 4K because we're not putting things on billboards. But what I found was that all that research, because I started from a position of trying to make my DSLR work. And I have just the wrong version of everything so that it didn't link up right. So what tools do you recommend people use? Maybe people who are relatively new to video?
I think the tools that you've been talking about are great options in terms of ease of use, getting a decent lavalier mic and a good light, whether it's a ring light or something like what I have here up above me, which is just kind of a little quick panel light, it makes a huge difference. And especially when we want to talk about things like Zoom, one of the issues that you have when you are communicating with people via Zoom or other like meetup platforms is if you have dark spaces in your background or on your face, the computer actually has a harder time dealing with those darker spaces, especially when it comes to compressing and uploading that video. So if you can come up with some good lighting on your face, and then the next thing to think about is definitely sound with a nice lavalier, or if you can spend a little bit more money finding a nice shotgun mic, which is going to sound even better than the lavalier mic because you don't have the rustle, you don't have cables on your body anywhere, so you're a little bit more comfortable. But then we're talking about adding external gear, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes with that. But yeah, to me, I would start with a nice lavalier mic that you can get on Amazon, or you can get from one of the big production stores like B&H Video out of New York or Adorama out of New York. So there's a whole bunch of really good options. And we talk to clients all the time about figuring out good solutions for them.
Mm-hmm. And so software-wise, you were talking about how there's a whole bunch of different players. I'm in a Facebook group full of tech founders, which is a really interesting group of people, and somebody was talking about how they've got some downtime and should they make a new app, and everybody had some ideas, and my comment was, could you make Zoom but make it work every time? Like, can we just like maybe step down this complexity? It got a lot of likes in that channel.
Oh, reliability is a huge issue when it comes to a lot of these platforms, and especially as we see the kind of strain that especially new platforms like Zoom are suffering under. For a lot of our internal meetings, we'll use Google Meets because it's built into the G Suite. You don't have to have a separate account. And from our experiences, we've had good usage without any real downtime. As long as there's a good internet connection, it seems to do perfectly well. And let's see, I mean, Skype is certainly old reliable when it comes to one-on-one. I haven't used it as much in the meeting space when it comes to multiple people, but I use it. My fiance lives in Poland, so I use it on almost a daily basis with her when we spend time together. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other platforms certainly popping up. I would love to see some ones that are focused on the high quality aspect, something that I think has been kind of ignored by everybody else because they're so busy expanding that maybe somebody takes kind of the slow road, but takes the high quality road, which really changes things up in terms of a business model and also changes things up in terms of what the market space is doing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when we started our content marketing agency, Zoom was talking about an HD angle.
Yep.
And now when you record even locally, it's just this little bitty like 360p type situation. And it's not something
It's not usable.
Yeah, it's not something I want to say like, this is what we do, you know?
Yep. No, that's totally accurate. And it's something that when we show up with our full rig, we still do like local backups through external recorders as well as on camera to make sure that we have the highest quality product for our clients.
That makes sense. That makes good sense. And so let's say everybody had a vaccine and we got to leave the house starting tomorrow. What would an ideal next project, non-streaming, look like for you?
I mean, for us, we'd like to keep streaming for as long as possible. We think it's definitely the future when it comes to the corporate meeting space, as well as even the unique experience meeting space. We got to work with a local company called Coil Wines, which does their own wines here in Boise, and they had their fall launch of their new bottles. So what they did with their wine club is they sent out the bottles of wine and worked with the local chef to develop a pairing menu. So the chef developed a pairing menu, and kind of like Blue Apron does, they sent out little packets of pre-prepped food, and we brought our rig and did a cooking class with the wine pairing.
That's cool. That's a
Like
really
we
neat
would,
experience. That's way more fun than I've had on Zoom ever. No offense, because this is on Zoom.
yeah. If we could do that every day, I would be satisfied, certainly.
That's so
'Cause
fun.
it's a really unique experience for the audience. It's a really unique experience for us, and it's a beautiful engagement of community that we really enjoyed working with them on that.
That's a really neat example of connection. Do you have other ones that you've done since the pandemic that you thought stood out to you?
We have some stuff in the works right now. Some ballet shows. We worked on some drag shows over the last 6 months where we had remote call-ins as well as pre-recorded content so that we could put together some drag shows to raise money for local performers. So there's been some cool community connection that we've done through this entire pandemic that's been really special to us.
Yeah, that's really neat because, you know, before we started recording, we were talking about some of the harder parts of having a video production company during the pandemic, but it's neat that even with that there's a silver lining.
Always. Yeah, I think there's always something to learn from life, no matter what the curveballs are they throw at you. You just kind of got to keep swinging and keep working through it. And at some point down the line, something's got to give, kind of.
Yeah, right? That's true. And I think on that note, I feel like we can't add to this conversation. That was such a great place to end it. The only question I have for you, and we'll link to this below, and we'll link to it wherever people are watching it, where can people find you?
I think the best places to look us up is Instagram at Argos Productions, as well as Facebook. We're Argos Productions on Facebook as well. And those two places, as well as our website, argosproductions.tv.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Justin, for being a part of this.
Thank you.